Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Baptized and Clueless. I'm your host, Yusuf. I'm joined here with my co-host, Michelle Edie. Michelle, how are you doing today?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Having a lovely day. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Wesley, how are you doing today, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Yusuf.
Glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear when both of you guys are doing fine, because sometimes I'm not, and it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So, speaking of feeling better, today's topic is healing is not healed.
hmm
And the reason I want to jump right into is because there are a lot of things been happening around in our small groups and our communities, and people are feeling it this time of year, whether it be through their marriage, whether it be through their work relationships. And a lot of people have taken the time to try to address these problems. Unfortunately, a lot of them are addressing on their own terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And based on what they think is the right way to go about it, which is very human, of course, right? We all do that because, we're supposed to do as much as we can. And sometimes we don't know when we've passed our limits, right? So this topic came up because I was just thinking about something that two people have said to me, two separate occasions.
Yeah.
And they're dealing with their other half, their spouse, their significant person. And the claim was, they just need the other person to see the work that they have done. And that they have gone through the process. But now only one party is healed, which is them, and the other person is not.
Yeah.
And I could hear the genuine pain in the person's voice. And it's so very understandable. But in my head, because the situation was so sticky, for lack of a better term, I didn't want to just pounce on. But so I'm trying to learn how to just listen without jumping on too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm not too good at that, Wesley. Relax. I'm teasing you. But the truth of the matter is, when they said it, it came out, it just all sounded wrong because yes, it's true that you've been doing the work. But who told any of us that it's done?
Yeah.
That's
And
key.
and so the person's thinking, well, I've done my work and that person hasn't done anything yet, which is true. One has started the journey, they don't refuse to start the journey. So there are two different places.
Right.
But when we start thinking that they're a complete work, Jesus isn't completed with us. And he's been working on us for a long time.
Good boy.
Right? But sometimes in their
This is what we
pain,
can
we
reach.
lose sight, right? We lose
Yeah.
we lose sight with things in their pain sometimes, and we start saying things that are completely irrational, not true. In our heart of hearts,
Yeah.
to soothe our pain, we believe certain things. But if you really step back and take a look at it, you're talking as though you're healed, but the truth is you're in the process of healing.
Yeah.
And when we're in that process of healing, are we checking on that other person to see if they're at pace? And if they're not at pace, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not. It's not going to be the same outcome as you think it is. If you run off to go get healed, and you watch them stand still, because if that's the case, then you have to be able to come back to where they are, not expect them to reach where you are. So when we talk about healing is not healed, well, what comes to mind for either one of you?
Yeah. For me, I would say that, it's very common for us to think that, when we, like, let's say if we get saved or we get baptized, we automatically think that, life is supposed to go good for us after this, and it's like, oh, now that I've accepted Jesus, now I won't go through this anymore, and that's the complete opposite, man, because it's like life gets harder after that, and even though life gets harder, we know that God is with us and God is now able to work in us the things that, have that we've been, processing since we were children, I guess. And I know for me, it's like when I got baptized, I automatically thought like, oh, I'm not going to go through this anymore, and that was the complete opposite. It's like, it got
You
worse.
go through it more.
Yeah. And
you know
you
why,
could go,
right? No, you know
yeah.
why it got worse.
Yeah, I know why. Cause now you get a huge target on your back from from the enemy.
Definitely. But also, even enemy aside, now the convictions come in. more clear.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's where it really
Yeah.
starts.
Mm-hmm.
Now you
Mm-hmm.
notice everything you were ignorant to before. Now you're aware of the faults
Mm.
of yourself.
Yeah.
And just think of it, now you're going through all the years of pileup that you may have put into yourself. Because I know I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
ran.
Right.
I ran
Yeah.
because I realized, oh man,
Mm.
I got dipped and I'm still feeling like this.
Yeah.
I want to redo. Something's in the water, redo.
You probably
I
gotta
love
dip
that.
me in again.
Keep me a little longer. I can hold my breath.
Oh
Listen,
man.
Wes, that was
Yeah.
relevant. Wes, that was so relevant to say dip me in again because I can't tell you any amount of times as a Christian, I'm kind of like, do I need to go get rebaptized again?
Yeah.
And for those who do, no one's wrong in it because there's nothing in the Bible that says that you can't.
No, that's the
There's
thing.
nothing that
It's
says you
just
can't.
it's real.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also our human conditioning, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to get
Yeah.
and you know when we got baptized, the feeling was, oh my gosh, I'm renewed. You feel it right there and then.
Yeah.
Chase that feeling again. You want to have that hot moment again in the spiritual
Mm.
sense, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the reason why, because that's how we solve our problems. Man, if I could just get feeling again, I won't feel this way. I won't think that
True.
way. And so we chase that
Yeah.
instead. And I mean, it's because we're in the process of healing, right? We're not quite
Mm.
there yet.
Yeah.
But what if I was to say pretty much, if you're looking to be healed, we should stop looking at trying to get the broad breadth of being healed, which is everything is fine now. And let God work on
Mm.
things one at a time as he normally does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know too many people that have come to testify that not only did God heal my leg, he also fixed my bank account, and he also got me a new house, and he got me a new car, and went on vacation, and it was all on the same day.
Yeah, right. True.
You know what I mean? And it's not that he
Mm-hmm.
can't, but he does
Yeah.
everything in proper order of who he's
Right.
dealing with and what is
Yeah.
going on. Like,
Mm.
of course, God can get you a new job,
Mm.
and you get called to get a vacation at the same time. But that's not a common thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm.
You have a problem with someone at work, he's gonna deal with the thing at work, but he's gonna deal with the thing inside you. We've said this plenty of times on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I
what I think about also is like I think that's what goes wrong with a lot of us Christians is that, because we think that we've been walking with Jesus for a while, we think that we have this entitlement where it's like we look down on people who are just coming into the faith
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even non-believers. And I think that's the problem is because we think, oh, we're much better than them. We got Jesus, we're healed. Jesus has forgiven us, which he has, but that doesn't mean that we're not still going through the process of things that we're still dealing with. Like, you know we could be dealing with things that we don't even know we have in our hearts,
That's
and
exactly it.
it's up to the Holy Spirit
To reveal
to
it.
that's true.
to reveal it. Yeah, to reveal to us. But some of us, we think that, oh, we're already healed, and so we don't even listen to the convictions of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
that's what causes a lot of Christians to become numb and become judgmental. And that's why though I guess you could say the world looks at Christians in a side eye.
Mm.
Yeah. Because a lot of Christians are in their healing process and they act as though they're healed and then they become
True.
more righteous than thou. And the whole point of it is, if you really
Yeah.
were healed, that would be the
Yeah.
last point of view that you'd have about how you deal with people. It's
Yeah.
really, it reveals itself, right? Like, oh, I'm healed from anger. Someone cuts you off the road
Mm.
and you start cussing like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you're a work in progress.
Right. Right.
And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you start, popping your collar and brushing off your shoulders because you think you got through a hurdle. There you go again. Just
Mm.
even saying that you got through a hurdle. You got to recognize
Mm.
that God got you
Yeah.
something. So that means your heart is still in
Yeah.
progress.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So whenever I think of the people that I was thinking in my head that, have done I've done the work. Just saying that sentence
Mm.
alone means that you're not there. We're not talking about like you got over a cold and the cold is gone, so it's evident there's no cold.
Right.
But your heart can't be in a healed position if you're still thinking that, well, I'm a done work, and now it's time for me to go let people know that I'm a done work, and I can let them know they're not. And it's like, no. When it comes to Christ, you're a work in progress. The healing will always continue. The growth will always be there. Who Peter became after Christ and who Peter was before Christ? Two different Peters.
Very true.
Yep. You know, what I think of also, as you were saying that, Yusef, I was thinking of like how sometimes God, not even sometimes, God is the surgeon, and God wants us to be on the table so he can, heal our hearts, stitch back the wounds that we've developed since childhood. But a lot of us, we tend to get off the table too quickly.
Oh, wow.
Now we're over here.
Great analogy.
And they keep pushing you down your forehead. Lay down, not done yet.
And then now we're over here, acting like we're the most saved person, and then we're over here bleeding on people.
Oh, that's so true.
That's an incredible analogy.
Don't pull out the catheter too soon, sir. He's not done yet. That is so true. That is so true. And worse, that patient starts thinking they're the doctor. I know my body better.
Oh, dang.
Yes. Oh.
Oh my gosh. Before you put on your hat and coat, you fell on the ground. Nurse, help.
Oh my gosh.
That's a full cry for Jesus, because that's what happens just all the time. We get overzealous.
Yeah.
Overconfident because we're thinking it's us.
If
you keep that's why he's like, that's what Jesus says, keep your mind on him. Because if you keep your mind on him, then when those thoughts come up, the Holy Spirit's like slapping it down. Pop. Like, no.
Yeah.
You can't be feeling and thinking that way. That makes no sense.
Interesting. There's an experience that I walked through, and it's so revealed to me how much healing is a journey. And like you said, we sometimes ignore that. We jump off the surgeon's table early, and we start bleeding on other people. But I say that to say, like, walking through the journey of healing, and I always try to be somewhat transparent, like walking through the healing of post-divorce, like going through a divorce. It's this constant journey that will show up even years later. I'm not there yet. Don't get me wrong. I could be in another, forget relationship. I could be in another marriage and still be walking through that kind of healing. And I say that to say, I have felt so many stages of this journey where it's like, okay, I'm not necessarily saying I'm healed, but I definitely feel like there's a certain amount of healing that has occurred, and I'm past stage A and I'm going on to stage B. And maybe I'm sliding into stage C, and you're in stage C and all of a sudden you're crying over something that is a stage A piece of your healing that you thought you really dealt with. And I say that to say, it's a beautiful reminder, the fact that the healing is a process. It's like tending a garden. We put the seeds down. They need to take root. There's a process to this, right? And I'm the worst person to be talking about analogies for gardening because I don't have a green thumb to save my life. I don't have a green thumb to save my life. But it's beautiful because God is intentionally taking us through the stages of healing, because he requires us to go through that healing in order for him to take us to our next. So we're like laughing in God's face when we're trying to jump through these stages prematurely, because he's telling, he will not let us move to our next until we have walked through this season appropriately and truly learned the lessons that we needed for him to prepare us for what he has to bless us with. Because we cannot handle his blessings if we're not properly prepared. And I think we so much forget how much the healing season, you said it, like, it's not about us. The healing season is about his perfect will and purpose over our life and what he has next for us. And he wants to take us there, but he needs us to get through getting the Band-Aid on, like using the antiseptic, getting the Band-Aid on. He can't just take us through to the next stage when we haven't done the process. We try to skip it.
And And I was
Go ahead.
oh yeah, I was thinking, like as you were talking, Michelle, I was like thinking to myself, I was like, the fact that you mentioned Band-Aid, sometimes, it's not even gonna take like us just, because I think through life we put Band-Aids on all the time,
Yeah.
trying to cover up the wounds,
Inappropriate band-aids I can't manage.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes we just need to sit still enough to allow God to remove those Band-Aids, because now the Band-Aid has gotten affected because it's been covered too long, and now is not now it's like covered all in blood, and it's like when you mentioned prematurely, it's like a lot of us we do that, where it's like we think that we're okay when really we're not, and
Yeah.
we tend to go through life trying to just keep putting on these Band-Aids, and it's not working anymore, and we're not sitting still enough to allow God to just properly stitch back those broken pieces in our hearts that we've gone through life trying to hide. And
Yeah.
it's you worded it so good, Michelle, when you mentioned that.
Never do an injustice to the people, to people who want to um be followers, who want to engage in the kingdom, because what they're seeing is an inaccurate projection of what that healing process is supposed to look like when we're trying to rush that process. They're not fully seeing, hey, there's a level of submission required to my journey. So just like you said, just because I'm saved today, it doesn't mean everything just changes in my life. This is going to be a slow and gradual process to bring you to the other side. And until you submit to this process, whether it be a healing journey or whatever other journey you're on, if you don't submit to the process of this journey, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
They always say the prize is not the destination, it's the journey.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because it's not even just like we submit, but we're in the process of submitting. It's a continual daily thing.
Yeah.
And without
Yeah.
getting the analogy to death, but it's like the bleeding may stop, but the healing is still going through the process. And a lot of us talk too soon, as soon as we think the bleeding stopped. Because the thing is, we're so eager to get past the pain.
Yeah.
So quick to not want to live in it. And it's not so much that you're supposed to live in the pain, you're supposed to learn from the pain. You're supposed to sit there long enough with the Lord to heal from the pain. And if you understand it's not you healing yourself, that it's Him doing it, you stand a much better chance, obviously, of being properly healed. But
Absolutely,
it's a process. And if you recognize the journey you're having with Him, you won't necessarily, in hindsight, you'll see that the long process of healing was the best part because there's so many lessons you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's not just you got to have a bad relationship, that person's bad for you, you're good next. It's like, you got to have a bad relationship. Here's what really took place. You're not treating yourself for this, and this, but you are supposed to look at yourself for this, that, and that, and that.
And you said it so perfect.
Here's what you can look for in the future. And you didn't have me centered in a relationship, me meeting God. You didn't have me centered enough. Like all those things you're gonna learn. There's no way you're gonna learn overnight. And unfortunately, you're not gonna learn it in one type of relationship.
The funny thing is that you just said there is like that me-centered. And I think that one of the things we forget about, and I know I forgot about this for sure in my own journey.
Yes.
Once I recognized this, it changed my entire healing journey, which was, it was never about me. It was always because even half the reason why I need to do this healing is because I didn't keep my eyes on Him.
Yeah.
Because I didn't keep my eyes on Him, I took myself off the path that He had designed for me. And now I need healing. I come back on this path of healing and I'm still me focused. The healing takes longer.
Yeah.
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 The Israelite journey.
Yeah. And I was also thinking about, like, there was also something you said, Michelle, beforehand, when you were talking about like God being able to like just help us be able to go through the process and not like preparing ourselves, He won't let us go to the next thing until He prepares us for what we're in right now, because if He allows us to go beforehand, like he like will not be ready for the blessing. And when you said that, I was just thinking about how that's what's good about God's grace is that
Yeah.
even though he sees that we're refusing to, sit still in the healing, like he won't allow us to go to the next, even if we're rushing ourselves to try and go to the next,
Right. That's right.
And so, also I was thinking too, is that when we're going through our healing process, we end up comparing ourselves to other people who are healing as well, because like all of our healing processes are different, it's just like going through the race, like you're not trying to look at what the other guy, like what the other person is doing,
Right.
whether they're in front of you or behind you. Like you just have to focus on your race.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
so we tend to compare ourselves to other people's healing, and that also can deter us away from our own.
Big time. Big time.
There was a verse I was looking at in Proverbs 3, 5-6. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. I think this,
Yeah.
it echoes that need for the wisdom to know God's will, and God's will is what's going to take us through that healing. If we understand, if we don't have a compass to direct us, it becomes extremely difficult
Yeah.
to hit the mark,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's not just a hitting the mark kind of game. That God is so layered. He's so intricate.
Yeah.
And until we have a relationship with him, we can't even understand what that looks like.
Yeah.
He's not linear. It's not just the answer to everything to do with God is A. The answer to everything to do with God is B. He's layered, and we need to have a relationship with him in order to fully
Understand that.
our growth. And so when we're walking through that healing journey and saying, okay, even if I'm keeping my eye on him, am I truly exuding that in the different layers of my life? Am I just reading my Bible and keeping my eye on him? Or am I walking through life in circumstances that would typically rile me up and saying, God, I can't handle this piece of the puzzle alone.
Right.
Walk with me on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Or are we walking through a conflict with a person who typically brings us back to the negative space that we're healing from? And are we saying, God, in this situation, I'm healing and I'm not there yet, and my mouth is not ready to appropriately handle this person. Lord,
Yeah.
speak through me, speak for me. I can't handle this on my own. We have to submit to him. The word submission is so key in this healing journey that I think we forget how much, like I said earlier, we're looking at me. It's a full game of submission to go through that healing.
Yeah.
And when we do it ourselves and we don't put God into it, we think we're healed too quickly. And that's when we start doing the bleeding.
We want to get the story. We don't want to hear once upon a time.
Yeah.
We don't hear the end, and we just want to know the end. Oh, I'm done. On to the next thing. And we have a
I love that.
we have a thing in society where we like to rush through things so much, and the gift is in the process, and we miss out on those gifts a lot of times. We also have the unfortunate habit of not recognizing God's process and then rushing other people through theirs.
Yeah.
True.
We were talking
That's
earlier.
A powerful point.
We were talking earlier about grace, and it's like that's part of it right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't give ourselves any grace to heal from situations and to walk with God as he walks us through it. So we sure as heck is not going to give someone else that same opportunity.
Yeah.
And so when we claim we're healed, we're rushing them too.
Yeah. Yeah. I was also thinking, like, I remember I heard from pastor, I can't remember the pastor, but I remember I heard them saying one time, like, if the enemy can't slow you down, he'll rush you.
Right. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously when I heard that, I was like, ooh, because like we were just talking about it and you were just saying it, Yusuf. like when we tend to if we tend to like rush ourselves or even rush others, like they can
Right.
like we can hurt ourselves, you know? And God knows this.
Severely.
God knows that. Like we may, like you said, like you mentioned, Michelle, we may not even be ready for the blessings that, you know, is on the other side until we deal with what we're dealing with right now. And
Exactly.
if we end up rushing ourselves, and the enemy knows this too, if we end up rushing ourselves, we're gonna hurt ourselves, you know, whether it's mentally, physically, or emotionally.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
God knows this, and God is like, just sit still, just stay where you are right now. Let me heal you, and let me prepare you for what I have for you. And for a lot of us, including myself, like we just don't listen, and we tend to rush things too much.
Yeah. I wish I wish I could hear God speak to me like how I speak to my kids sometimes. When you have to remind them who you are. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, do I know better? Yes, you do. It's like, Lord, I don't mind. Scold me like that so I can hear you. Because sometimes, we get caught up in our head, whether it be our fears, whether it be our anxieties, whether it be whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And we rush through things when, when we take our time with things and we take our time with Him, the right thing get revealed to us. I've gone through situations for myself where I know I'm better than I was 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. But whatever journey I took doesn't mean the other person's in that same journey. And you have to have the patience, the grace, and the understanding that people are going to be at different paths and different paces. You can end up in the same section eventually. But what are you going to do in the meantime if they're not there? To go back to my original statements, like you've got to take your time with them, because that's the revelation. That's the revealing part of if you really are healing. Your heart has changed. Now see God's grace that He had for you. How are you not reflecting that back to the other person that's in the same situation with you?
Yeah.
And we miss that way too often because we want to get healed so bad. We had a conversation.
The word that comes to my mind based on what you're saying is discernment.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And that discernment comes from having a relationship and being able to connect with the Holy Spirit and understand when you're walking through those circumstances, hey, do I need to navigate left or right now in order for optimal results? Okay, I hear you, God. But it takes that muscle of building up that relationship to have the discernment to allow Him to guide us through the process.
Trusting in Him. Leaning on your own understanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Stop leaning on your limited ways and lean on the one who's unlimited.
Well, that wraps up the show.
And how many times a day do we do that?
Every week, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But I think the more we get used to being transparent to God and allowing Him in our submission to heal us, the more we recognize people at the state that they're at and not rush them, but show them the grace that was shown to us, and to allow them to be able to heal at the pace that God has them at.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've seen it. Relationships do heal.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships do get better. But even when it gets better, to think that that's it, that's putting a limit on God. Why not just stop there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like this whole topic is guiding me back to the Serenity Prayer. In terms of just I think the Serenity Prayer is something. Just this conversation is reminding me that I think the walking through my healing journey, I'm going to lean on the Serenity Prayer more frequently, which is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. We just talked about discernment. That's the wisdom to know the difference.
Yeah.
And I think as we're walking through our healing journey, we stumble upon those, I want to call them milestones. I feel like those milestones is what leads us, through that journey.
Yeah.
Remembering to stop and just say, God, grant me that serenity to accept the things I can't. I don't know what I can, or I just don't know what I don't know, God, and I surrender. Essentially is what you're saying. The courage to change the things I can is really saying, sometimes we have to be bold in our healing journey. and take steps that we wouldn't have otherwise taken. We would have stayed in our comfort zones. We would have operated out of a place of fear.
Right.
So courage to like say, I'm not going to do what I've always done, Lord, because doing what I, on my own intuition and fruition, have been doing was not good for me.
Exactly.
And then that wisdom, that discernment now to say, Lord, because I've been in relationship with you, I discern the difference of what I should and should not do in this circumstance. And because I want different outcomes, I'm going to follow what you have for me. I'm going to follow your discernment, and I'm going to do the correct thing in order to lead me down the path you have destined for me.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well said. Well, I appreciate this conversation because everyone's healing.
Yeah.
No one's healed. And like I said earlier when we were talking off the air, we've all been saved, but the sanctification is a continuous thing, and Jesus is there for us. So we're obviously still going through a lot of changes, a lot of improvements because of him. Our heart is changing.
Yeah.
The saving was a one-time deal. Like, he did what he did. It's one time. He's not going to go back and do it again. But the process is now here, and this is the struggle for a lot of people. The process. So keep your eye on Jesus. Keep your heart open to him, and just allow him to be able to do what he does best, and that's he heals.
Yeah.
So thank you all again for this episode, and join us back next week when we have another topic of great conversation. We appreciate you guys coming out, and we'll have a great one.
Yes. Take care.
Have a good one.